He's my son's best friend, and I shouldn't have accepted, but his tool was too big and tough. I know a lot of people will judge me for what I've done, but most people have no idea what it's like to be a single mother at 40. My name is Anna. I live in the interior of Minas Gerais and currently work with ordering candy and salts for parties. My ex-husband left me to live with his mistress. She's beautiful, I won't lie, and much younger. She's 25. I discovered the betrayal after 15 years of marriage, and he was my first and only husband. The news devastated me, and since then I've shut up for new relationships. It's been almost 7 years since I got involved with anyone. I live with my son Lucas, who is 22 years old and is my greatest treasure. Lucas has been my companion, my strength, and the reason I keep going. Seeing his growth and achievements fills me with pride and joy, and it is for him that I keep going, despite everything. I've always been a liberal mother. I never forbade my son to do anything. I trust in his ability to discern right from wrong. I always let him bring friends and girlfriends home, and I never had a problem letting him do parties. I believe that freedom has strengthened our relationship. Lucas' friends always joked about wanting to marry me or date, saying I was very pretty. I'm not going to deny it. I always pay attention to where I go, and I get praise from my appearance. Even with age, I'm still attracting eyes. Before you continue with this story, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The attention I get sometimes generated funny situations, especially when Lucas' friends were younger and uninhibited. They made jokes and comments, and I always dealt with it with a smile, without taking it too seriously. It's good to know I still have a charm. Lucas' current friends are older because he's in college, and that's brought a new dynamic to our lives. The looks I get now are different from the ones I had before. I know there's second intentions behind those looks. I'm a single woman, and although I may seem unpretentious, I am neither a saint nor a fool. I can see when attention goes beyond a simple compliment or casual look. There is a particular friend who has always drawn my attention, Peter, 24 years old, friend of Luke's childhood. Peter grew up virtually in our house, and I took care of him, as if he were my own son. He, in turn, was always very attentive and playful. For many years, Peter used to tap me in the ass and make jokes. I always carried in the sports car, thinking it was part of our friendly relationship. But as he grew up, these jokes were diminishing and eventually stopped. Even so, the attention he gave me never went unnoticed. It all broke out last month, more precisely at the beginning of July. Peter's mother was celebrating his 50th birthday. Since we are very friends, and I was always close to the family, I offered to make the sweets and salts for the party, without charging anything, just asking her to buy the fillings. On the day the ingredients were delivered, Peter appeared to help. He brought the shopping and, instead of just leaving it with me, asked to stay and help with the preparation. He explained that since I was doing all the work free of charge, I wanted to be useful in some way. His offer seemed sincere and well-intentioned. I accepted it with gratitude and took the help to speed up the process. As we prepared the sweets and salts, we started talking. The proximity between us, which was always natural due to the fact that he grew up virtually in my house with my son, made the conversation become more and more relaxed and intimate. In the middle of the preparation, I don't know exactly how the topic about relationships and personal preferences arose. Peter commented that he was not attracted to women of his age. He explained that he always had a preference for older women, thinking that they had a special charm and a different attitude. According to him, more mature women were less complicated and more open to trying new things without so much bureaucracy. When I heard that, I felt my face warm and getting red of shame. I couldn't avoid a nervous laugh. Peter's statement resonated in an unexpected way, and I ended up agreeing with him, commenting that in fact the more experienced women have more experience and are more open to new experiences. The conversation was deepening and became even more personal, creating an atmosphere of intimacy that I did not expect, but that was becoming more and more fluid. During the conversation, I decided to ask Peter what would be the ideal elderly woman for him. With a smile on his face, he began to describe his preferences: long hair, brown, green eyes, and a more fragrant body. He said he liked a woman with meat. At every detail, I couldn't contain the laughter. The description was so accurate that it seemed like he was talking directly of me. When Peter noticed my reaction and questioned the reason for the laughter, I explained that his description perfectly matched my appearance. He laughed and confirmed that someone like me would be the ideal woman for him. Then Peter made the conversation even more daring, stating that boys in his age group, between 24 and 25, are at the height of virility. For young men like him, having sex several times in a night is common, comparing his ability to a real machine in bed, able to repeat the act 1, 2, up to 3 times in succession. The conversation was getting more and more intimate and filled with tension, and I could feel the change in the atmosphere between us. The way he spoke and the enthusiasm with which he described his preferences were making the moment even more provocative. Before you continue with this story, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Peter then became serious and asked me an unexpected question: what would be the ideal man for me? That question surprised me. It's been a long time since I thought about it. My routine full of commitments with the preparation of sweets and salts occupied all my time and energy, and I had left my own desires aside. I told him I didn't really think much about it lately. With my busy routine, the time to think about relationships has ended up in the background. But as Peter insisted, I ended up opening up a little bit more. I said that if I was going to consider a new relationship, I'd prefer someone who wasn't looking for something serious. I'm not interested in dating or getting married. Especially because with men of my age, I always roll the serious engagement chat, and frankly, I'm not naive. Many end up betraying their partners. What I would then be looking for would be someone who would share the same vision as me, who would understand that I am not in the marketplace for a conventional novel. Pedro laughed and made a joke, saying that he would be the ideal candidate for what I was looking for. I stayed silent, embarrassed, and just watched him. Then suddenly, he stopped stirring the candy and began to declare himself to me. He said he always felt an attraction for me, but never had the courage to say anything before, precisely because he was my son's best friend. I didn't react, but I felt something pulsating inside me. The feeling was strange and intense. A long time ago, I didn't know what it was like to feel desired. I started shaking a little. Peter continued praising my appearance and saying that I was wasting my beauty by being alone. He revealed that he always had hot dreams with me and that, despite being a little younger, he felt an intense connection. Your words were like a shock to me. I really didn't know how to react. Pedro, noticing my surprise and tension in the air, tried to ease the situation. He said he understood if I got angry with him because of the statement that he just wanted to be honest about his feelings and asked me not to get bad, explaining that I had no control over his emotions or the dreams he had. His sincerity was obvious, and despite the initial shock, something in me began to loosen. He approached with a worried look and continued to say that he didn't want it to affect our friendship or the relationship with my son. He just needed me to know what he felt. I told Peter the first to be mad at him because of the statement, and I thanked him for the compliments and for finding me attractive. I explained that, under other circumstances, maybe things were different, but he was my son's best friend. Peter seemed visibly saddened by my answer, but he did not give himself up. He then asked for at least one kiss, saying it would be only one, as a gesture of friendship. The days passed and life returned to its usual rhythm. My work with ordering sweets and salts kept me busy, and my relationship with Lucas remained strong and full of trust. Despite the difficult decision to end the romance with Peter, I felt a certain tranquility for having done what I thought was right. However, I could not avoid the thoughts about Peter. Sometimes during the quiet nights, I got caught reminding me of the intense moments we shared. Although I decided to move forward, the desire and excitement still floated in my mind. Peter kept his promise. He remained the loyal and present friend to Lucas, and our interaction was always respectful and friendly. I knew he still had feelings for me, but we both kept a clear line to avoid any complications. One day, while preparing a big package for a wedding, Lucas entered the kitchen with a serious expression on his face. I asked if something was wrong, and he hesitated before answering. "Mom, I need to talk to you about something I heard," he said, with a tone of concern. My heart shot. Did he find out about me and Peter? I took a deep breath and tried to stay calm. "Of course, son. What happened?" "Well, I was talking to some friends, and one of them commented that you and Peter have spent a lot of time together." I found it strange because he's my friend and I never imagined you guys were so close. Do you have anything to tell me? Asked Lucas, looking directly into my eyes. I felt a knot in my throat, but I knew I needed to be honest with my son. I sat down at the table and asked him to do the same. Lucas, I'll be honest with you. There was a time when Peter and I got closer than we should. It was something unexpected and happened during a moment of my weakness. But I want you to know it's over. And I made that decision because I knew how much it could affect our relationship and your friendship and your friendship. Lucas remained silent for a few moments, processing what I had said. His face showed a mixture of surprise and disappointment. Mom, you're my mother. And I've always respected you. I didn't think something like that could happen. But I understand we're human and we make mistakes. I just hope that doesn't change the dynamics between us and that Peter remains my friend. Luke's words brought me immense relief. Although he was clearly disappointed, his maturity in dealing with the situation was reassuring. I promised him that I would keep Peter as far away as necessary to ensure that our relationship was not affected. The following days were reconstruction days. I focused even more on my work and being present to Lucas. Our relationship remained strong, and I was grateful to have such a comprehensive and mature son. Peter, on the other hand, respected our space even more. He continued to frequent our house, but kept the appropriate distance, always showing respect for my decision and the friendship that he had with Lucas. As time passed, the memories of moments with Peter began to fade away, giving way to a feeling of peace and stability. I knew I had made the right decision, and I was willing to move forward, valuing what really mattered, my relationship with my son and the life we built together. Life is made up of choices. And although some are difficult, it is important to follow what the heart commands and maintain integrity in all situations. Looking back, I feel proud to have faced this storm and come out of it stronger and more aware of my priorities.